So as you come to lying on your back, please, unless it's not comfortable for you, please stand your feet on the floor with your knees bent. Of course, slide your feet away if that feels better as a way to begin your practice. And simply allow your attention to drop into the body, into the connection of your body with the surface beneath you. You can have a quick scan of your body to notice what's here right now for you. Maybe noticing where you've come to your mat with areas of tension in the body, or maybe tension in the mind. Noticing conversely where you feel quite relaxed and spacious. Maybe noticing where you make contact with the floor through the soles of your feet, the lower back and sacrum, the back of your ribs, shoulders, back of your head. Can you give yourself to the floor, to the earth? What does that even feel like? And how do you feel in all of the tissues of your face? The back of your throat and the roof of your mouth. And how is your breath this morning? And maybe your attention is drawn away from the body and the breath to any emotional state or strong thoughts. It's just so good to notice. You may like to set yourself an intention for this practice today by asking yourself, what's brought you here? What's brought you to the mat? What do you really need right now? And then coming to the top of a lovely breath in and pausing. And with the exhale, opening your mouth and having a lovely long sigh. And taking two more like that. And from here, we're going to roll over onto the left side of the body with your arms and your legs at right angles to the body. So if you need to place something under your head, please do. If it's not easy, just to settle your head on the floor. So your right palm is over your left palm, and your knees are together, your ankles are together. And take a moment to allow the right side body, the left side body, to become quite heavy and in contact with the mat. So the ribs, the shoulder, the hips. So really give the left side of your body to the floor. And when you're ready, all you're going to do is very gently move the right shoulder forwards. So your right hand will move past the left hand. But this movement is being initiated by the shoulder. And then very gently move it back a little. So we're not going far. These are micro movements initiated with the right shoulder. And I'd like you to notice as you slide the shoulder forwards and back, how the rest of your body responds. Do you find that you move in the head? Do you find that the hips move? Does the right knee lift off the left? And you might find that gradually you start to slide a little bit further forwards and further back, even rolling onto the back of your head. Can you make these movements really oily, really slippy, slidey? And we're not trying to fix any part of the body. Allow the whole body, or allow the whole movement to move through the body. And eventually you might find that your right shoulder blade is on the floor, you're looking to the right. But please be slow and small. Don't be in any hurry to open all the way out into a full twist. And keep releasing the left side of the body into the floor. And at some point, your right arm will open out to the right in a T shape. You might stay there or you might come back. See what feels delicious this morning. You might find as you slide the right palm past the left, you're sliding further and you're rolling right onto your forehead and your nose. Rather than go fast and trying to achieve something, can you back off and go slower, take smaller movements? Wonderful. And then leaving that side and rolling over onto your back, and allowing your legs to become long, and taking a moment to just notice how you feel. If you feel different on one side of the body. And we're going to take that to the other side. So if you roll over onto the right side of your body, making your arms and legs at right angles to the torso. And before we move at all, just allowing the right side of the body to sink into the mat, really heavy in the ribs, the hips, shoulders. And so you know what's coming. Beginning very gently with tiny movements to move the left shoulder forwards and back. And continuing in your own time to find your way with this movement. Allowing the movement to move through the whole body. Very silky. And this is a fantastic movement from somatics and Feldenkrais to allow our shoulders to come into connection with the rest of the body. And in so doing, to release unwanted tension in the shoulders and the neck. Hi, Jane. And so gradually you'll roll further onto the back of your head. Your left shoulder will release a little towards the left. But please don't be in any hurry. Whenever you're ready, allow the left shoulder blade to meet the floor and the left shoulder to drop as you look to the left, but not yet opening the left arm out unless that feels right. And we're giving our head a lovely massage as well. You may become more aware of the movement of the shoulder blades across the ribs as you move like this. Maybe now you can open the left arm out completely into a T shape. You might like to stay, you might like to come back again. And take time to continue really enjoying, luxuriating. Lovely. Very, very lovely movements. Mandy and Gila, you're the only people I can see properly. But very, very sensitive, beautiful. Tactile, sensual. Great for the neck. Okay, and then after your next movement, coming to lie flat on your back. And taking time to feel the whole body. Again, alert to any changes that you notice. Noticing the quality of your breath. Noticing if the body connects in any way differently with the surface beneath you. And then in your own time, meeting me in an all fours position. And always pad your knees if you need to. That's better, Paul. And we're going to come back to this awareness that we came to at the end of the last, or in some of the classes of the last block, which is an awareness of your neck beginning in between your shoulder blades. Because in fact, many of the muscles that connect the head to the torso, so that run through the neck, actually come down this far. So you don't need to think of the vertebrae of the neck as just being the neck only, but coming all the way down the top of the spine to in between the shoulder blades. And with this in mind, you're looking down now at your hands. You're going to begin to look along the floor in front of you, and then up the wall or whatever's in front of you. But with this awareness of this particularly long neck, and then sliding your eyes back down to the floor and then towards your navel as you draw your tailbone down. And then it's the lower back, it's the sacrum that is drawing you down. And then you begin again. So the movement of looking up initiates from in between the shoulder blades. And the movement of looking down initiates with the tailbone, drawing between the legs. And I say all of that, but of course it's the eyes as well that are initiating and directing the movement. So with this particular emphasis on the two parts of the spine as initiating the different flexion and extension movements, we allow ourselves to really feel into the upper part of the back, but also the hips and the lower part of the spine. So we bring the whole of the spine into movement. And see if you can continue to do this very quiet in your hands and arms. And some of you may be inhaling as you look up and exhaling as you look towards your navel. But I'm not too worried about that right now. I'm much more interested in the quality of your movement. Wonderful. And then coming back to a neutral spine and bringing your attention to your right shoulder and right hip and just easing them towards each other. So you're creating a C shape in the spine, and you can look over your right shoulder as you do this. And then straightening out and bringing your left shoulder and left hip towards each other. There's a little bit like, and keep going in this way from side to side. It's a little bit like an articulated bus or lorry or one of those snakes that you hold the tail of and it just wriggles from side to side. So don't look, can I just show you some of you are doing this, you're looking over your shoulder and leaning around, which means it's the shoulder that's taking all the movement. You just want the spine to be moving. So you just look delicately. The best way to think about it is ease the shoulder and hip towards each other rather than swaying around and swinging your bottom behind you. Yeah, exactly. Much better. So it's a subtle C shape for the spine. When you look to the right, you don't really want your bottom to move to the left. So as we do this, we're returning down the ladder of evolution to our fishy reptilian selves, earlier selves. We don't often have the opportunity to sway the spine in this direction. That's very, very good for it. Fantastic. That's enough of that. Then gently coming down to lie on your belly with your hands underneath your forehead. And bringing your attention back to that very long neck. And on an inhale, beginning to lift your head and your chest a little way off the floor, using your eyes again to look along the floor and maybe up the vertical plane a little before you come back down again. And continue a few rounds. What we're really looking for is to enliven the muscles around the mid to upper back and to be able to feel the shoulder blades. So we're not trying to come as high as possible. We're just saying hello to these muscles. Allowing your pelvis and legs to really root into the floor. Just taking a couple more like that. Wonderful. And from here, sliding your arms out in front of you. You're completely extended. And we're going to do a few things here. We're going to start by lifting the right arm and the right leg together. So it's just one side of the body. And if your head comes up, that's fine. You can lift and hold on an inhalation and then exhale, come down. Can you take 4 more like that, just for the right side? And this is a class in which we're going to begin to explore a little bit more strength than we have been in previous classes. And I really can't overemphasize the way in which I do not want strength to mean force and striving for something. The invitation in this class is to explore quietness within the effort, taking one more lift of the right arm and right leg, and then coming to rest. Love your cat, Karen. Noticing how you feel down each side of the body. And then we'll come to the left side of the body. When you're ready, lifting the left arm and leg while your right arm and leg are pressing into the mat. And then come down. And if you do include this long neck as you come up, that's great. And taking 3 more. So we're really firing up the back body at the moment in sections. Taking 1 more lift. And then rest. Now we're going to do the same lift but across the body. So bringing your attention to your left arm and right leg. We're going diagonally across the body. Inhaling, lift the left arm, right leg, and this long neck. And come down 4 more times. Again, not striving. But maybe feeling the back muscles energizing, enlivening. That's more what we're looking for, a vibrancy in the body. Taking 2 more. This is a great way of strengthening lower back muscles as well for anyone who has issues around the lower back. And it's a very safe way of doing so. And rest. And then coming to the right arm and the left leg and taking 5 lifts. And it's fine to pause at the top of the in-breath before you come down. Can you observe yourself? Are you trying really hard, or are you efficiently allowing the movement and the effort to distribute throughout the whole body? So we're not targeting one specific part of the body. When you've come to the end of your 5, take a rest. Maybe take your hands underneath your forehead. And then sliding your arms out in front of you again. And we're going to lift all of our limbs and our long neck, but we're going to bring a movement into the shoulders. So you might like to look at me for the first one. On an inhale, you're going to lift everything really wide in the toes and the fingers. And on the exhale, you're going to slide your elbows down towards your waist. And it may be that 1 is enough for you and you come down and you start again. Or you can stay up and take 5 of these movements. So I'll leave you to arrange yourselves, to organize yourselves. So I want you to really feel the shoulder blades sliding down the spine. It's like you're swimming in space. Beautiful. But do rest if you need to, if it's just too much to take 5 like that. Beautiful. Feel the energy in the whole body from the fingers to the toes. Maybe taking 1 or 2 more before coming down to rest, or resting already if you need to. And really letting go when you rest, forehead on your hands. Allow your heels to drop out to the side. And notice what that distributed effort has done to your breath. How do you feel in the shoulders, the wrists, the legs? And in your own time, coming to rest in a child's pose. And allowing the whole body to surrender towards the floor. Very soft, very heavy. And then bringing yourself to an all-fours position. And sitting back on you can curl your toes under and sit back on your heels. And bringing your right foot forwards so that your heel is about in line with your left knee. And just placing some of you, I've got such long arms, I don't know, placing your hands down on the mat, hopefully, so that you're able to rest your chest, your right ribs against your right thigh. So it's like we're coming into a sprint. So we did this in the last classes. This is very Pete Blackaby. And what he says, and what I find very helpful here, is to become very quiet in the wrists, the hands and the shoulders. And you're allowing the weight of your body to really be taken by that right thigh. And then all you're going to do is lift the left knee as you roll back onto the left heel towards the heel, and then drop the knee again. Maybe I should show you this way around. So you're lifting the left knee. It's quite good for the ankles and the foot, and dropping the left knee. A few times. And I've heard from some of you that these very incremental ways of coming into pyramid and then later coming into dog are actually quite a strain on the legs. And it is true that this way of working the legs is strengthening for the legs, but that's a good thing. So I want you just to observe as we start to come into different poses from here, where the effort pings in, and invite more softness in rather than strain. So when you're ready now, just allowing this quietness into the hands and the wrists and the legs, and lifting the left knee as you gradually straighten that left leg. The right knee is bent. And then gently bring the left knee back. You can lift it again. So you can rock back and then rock forwards, lift the knee, and come up, taking the heel towards the floor. So it's quite a nice way of saying hello to the back of the left leg. Okay. And then bringing both knees down and sitting on both of your heels. And taking your hands a little bit further forwards, again with that quietness in the shoulders. And rather than pushing into your hands, just use your hands and arms to support you. As you begin to take your heels towards the floor, you lift your knees, and then from there, and I know this is where it's difficult for some of you, come into a very quiet dog. And then drop your knees back down again. Sit back on your heels. So we're going to take a few rounds like this, really releasing the head and the neck. So you're encouraging your heels back to the floor, your knees lift, and from there, basically the lower body is working and the upper body is supporting you. And the point is, if things get tricky, notice where and when they get tricky and back off a little bit. Be slow and gentle and explore the movement. Just taking one more. So some people love coming into downward dog like this, and some people find that the legs really start burning a bit. So it'd be interesting to know for you how that is. Lovely. And next time you come down, you're going to come back to that asymmetrical position now with the left foot forwards, your right toes curled under, and settle your left ribs over the left thigh, becoming really quiet in the hands and the shoulders and the arms. And then beginning to rock back, lifting that right knee, and then dropping it. So just for a few times, we're just rocking. It's lovely for the plantar fascia of the foot and the ankle. And of course, you'll come up on your fingertips. So we're not straightening a leg there. I think, Paul, you're coming into something more complicated. You're just sitting back on the heel as you lift the knee. It's the right knee. And then eventually coming forwards again and lifting that right knee to straighten the leg. And dropping in and out of that gentle sprinting start and coming towards a pyramid pose, but we're not looking to straighten the front leg. Where is your attention? Where is your breath as you move in this way? Do you feel the legs? Lovely. Few more. Wonderful. Okie dokie. And then coming back in preparation for coming back into some more rounds of downward dog. So you're sitting on both of your heels now. Hands a little bit further forwards. Nice and quiet in the hands and the shoulders and the neck. And then start this movement by allowing your heels to drop towards the floor. It doesn't matter if they don't reach the floor, the knees lift, then the bottom. And notice how quiet you are in the upper body as your lower body takes the weight of the pose. And then moving in and out. If at any point you're up there and you just want to stay up there for a few breaths, of course. And what we're trying to do here is, of course, the upper body is strengthening in this way, but we're not forcing anything. We're not pushing into the hands and the arms. We're distributing the strength through the body. Fantastic. So if you're ready to rest in child, please rest in child. Otherwise, take just 2 or 3 more movements into dog. And you can experiment with how far your hands are away from your feet. Yeah, so Karen, you look like you're in quite a difficult dog because you're in a tight V, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's just you notice the difference. Okay, and then everybody come for a nice rest in child's pose. Let everything go. Let everything go. Relax in the jaw, the shoulders, the neck. The space where your shoulder blades meet. Okay. So we're going to have a go at something which, let's just see how we get on. Let's just see how we get on. If you'd like to sit back up on your heels, toes curled under. If you're already, is this very tiring? It's tiring. No, yes, no. So this is some people requested strengthening. So that's what you're getting. But like I said, just notice yourselves. And if you need to rest in child, keep coming back to rest. I'd like you to bring your forearms down in front of you on the mat. with your elbows about shoulder distance apart. And just your hands can just be really relaxed, your wrists relaxed. And basically, we're going to do exactly what we did with the dog, but with our forearms on the mat. So I want your shoulders and neck to be really soft. And then at some point, begin to lift your knees and take your heels towards the floor. And then come down again. So it's the same principle, but now we have a slightly different feeling through the arms and the shoulders. So if you're somebody who, and just keep going, you don't have to stay in the pose, although you might want to stay and walk your feet in towards your elbows if that feels good. If you're somebody who really doesn't have a lot of strength in the upper body, and for women that's really common, this all will be challenging. And that's okay. We'll repeat the class, so you have a chance to notice how things change over time. Lovely. So take a few more, maybe come to one where you stay up and you walk your feet a little bit in. But I really don't want anyone to exhaust themselves. So please listen to your breath and your body. Amazing. And then come back and rest in child. I really want you to relax the shoulders and the neck and the forehead. And on Friday, I hope most of you can come to the Friday class. We'll have half an hour longer, so we'll be able to explore different areas of strength throughout the body. But today, let's just do a little bit more. I'm hoping I'm not over pushing you. If you come to all fours and place your forearms down on the mat, but now with your elbows right under your shoulders, so your upper arms are nice and vertical. And I'd like you to just slide the right leg away. Toes are curled under, knees lifted. And what I'd like you to notice here is where your pelvis is. Are you sticking your bottom up, or can you keep it quite level? And just notice what's going on in the arms, the shoulders. And then if it's possible for you, slide the left leg away, lift the knee, and we come into forearm plank. But we don't stay, let's just drop one knee at a time and then move yourself in and out of this forearm plank, trying to keep the pelvis stable. So when I'm looking not to lift the bottom up and drop it now, but to keep the pelvis stable as you drop one knee at a time and then lift again. All with the quietness in the shoulders and the arms. So we're not in a gym. We're not trying to really pump it and work out here. I'm much more interested in you noticing how the strength is distributed through the body. So that's lovely. I'm loving the fact that you're not all lifting your bottoms up. That's fantastic, Gila. Great, all of you actually. Don't over push it. And then come to rest in child's pose, or flat on your belly might be quite nice, whatever feels like a good way to rest right now. Okay. Now, if you found that forearm version of coming into a plank really hard, then either keep resting or do the forearm version again. Or you might like to now come into a full plank with your hands underneath your shoulders. Fingers spread, nice and quiet in the hands and the arms. And then we do it in the same way, just one knee lifting at a time, and then the other, and then drop. And notice how I'm not moving my pelvis. Nice and long in the neck. And I'm going to leave you to decide if you want to stay for a few breaths in a plank with both knees lifted. But I'm aware that we've all got different levels of stamina. And the idea here is to keep that softness within the effort. We're not in a gym. This is about awareness, not about brute strength. So have a few more rounds of your plank. Gila, you look like you're counting to 100. It can be very empowering. I don't mean to be kind of gender specific here, although I'm about to be. It just can be very empowering for women to develop upper body strength. It's the heart. It's a lot of us just really lack it. So Paul, you're probably finding this all really quite easy. And if it's easy, just observe the distribution of effort through the body. And then everybody rest in child. You might want to give your wrists a little bit of a massage. Your fingers. Come to the breath and become very soft and still. And then in your own time, coming back to all fours, curling your toes under. And in that very quiet, gentle way, bringing yourself into a dog and noticing if the dog feels any different now. Very quiet in the shoulders and the arms. Take a few breaths. And then walk your hands in towards your feet. You can dangle here. You might want to hold onto your elbows and just allow the whole of the spine to decompress as you pour out of your pelvis. You can sway from side to side. And then gently roll yourself up bone by bone to a standing position. And take a moment to feel your feet, feel the body standing. You might want to roll the shoulders up to the ears and back again, especially if you found that was a lot of effort for the upper body. Notice the breath. And then look at your feet and make sure that they're hip distance apart and parallel. And you've got your hands to your waist here. And then simply sit back as if into a chair. Got a nice long spine. You're not sticking your bottom out. Take the tailbone under. And can you take 5 breaths holding with your hands on your hips, but trying to really drop and release into the shoulders and the neck and the jaw. Are you gripping anywhere, or are you able to really feel the effort distributed through the whole body? Even though obviously the legs are working. One more breath in, and then push into your feet to gently come up. Take a breath here. And then lift your arms so that they're coming straight out of your shoulders, palms are facing down. Take a breath in and then breathe out, sit back down in your chair again. And I really want you to draw the tailbone under, and the side waist draws back a little bit. And you have a soft gaze beyond your fingertips, and breathe. And smile. Take a full breath in and use the breath out to gently push through your feet to come all the way up. Feel the body. So sometimes it can be distressing when we feel that we're moving into working the body in ways that we're not familiar with, especially if we feel that we're not so strong. And so the work, the practice is to this constant observation and back off when things get too tricky. Okay, and now lift your arms up by your ears. Palms are facing each other. Take a breath in, and then sit back on your chair, keeping your arms up by your ears if you can. But now we've done a lot of work with the shoulders. Slide the shoulder blades down the spine. And either you have a soft gaze ahead of you, or you gently look up in between your hands, tucking the tailbone under. Utkatasana chair pose, all round strengthening pose. Take a full breath in and use the out breath to lift you all the way up. Arms down by your side, do anything you need to release tension in the shoulders. And breathe. Everyone doing okay? Yeah? Okay. It's a very different vibe to the classes we had before the break. Just a little bit more, and then we're going to come down to rest. Just very briefly, let's bring this all together. Take your right foot back just a step. Not coming into a really deep stride here. And what I'd like you to do is, as you breathe in, lift your arms and bend into the left knee. Feeling the hips moving forwards. And as you breathe out, arms down by your sides, straighten that front leg. Just going to move in and out of warrior one. Only take your eyes up if that's right for you. Wonderful. The next time you come up, stay up. Take a breath in, right into your fingertips, and exhale, slide your shoulder blades down the spine, just like you did when you're on your belly. And then you can lift the arms as you straighten the leg, and exhale, bend into the leg, shoulder blades down the spine. And keep going. And there's one final option for anybody who wants to, but you don't have to. And that is to gently, as you bring your elbows down, to lift the back heel and pour yourself into a warrior three. And if you have it in you, you could lengthen your arms and draw them back again. So listen to your body. It might not be what you want right now. Fantastic. And then we'll meet standing with our feet together before we bring that to the other side. Taking a step back with the left foot this time. And we just come very gently. Inhale, arms up, right knee moves forwards. Exhale, arms swing down, straighten the front leg. And then when you're ready, bringing that arm movement in. Feel the shoulder blades sliding down. And if you want to, only if you want to, being a little bit faster on this side, bring that into your warrior three. Fantastic. Just a few more breaths. And then dropping back into your warrior one. Bring your feet together. And take a moment to feel the body now. Hopefully enlivened rather than exhausted. And we're going to come back onto our backs for one final movement, very similar to our first movement before you come into Shavasana. For a moment, just coming with your feet standing on the floor, just to feel the whole body. And if it feels any different to an hour ago, and then rolling over onto the left side of the body again, palms together, knees and ankles together. We're just taking a slightly different version of this. And this is just to unwind in the shoulders, still allow the whole of the left side of the body to drop towards the floor. And then on the inhale, you're going to lift your right arm up into the air. And you're going to exhale and gently roll over to the right as you watch the hand drop with the eyes. And then inhale, lift vertically, and exhale, close your hands together. And that is all you're going to do on each side. So make it very gentle, very silky. You've worked very hard. I'd really love some feedback because I don't often bring that kind of strength into the gentle yoga classes. It may be we've done too much, so do let me know. Releasing into the body, releasing into the breath. Maybe staying open for a few breaths in a simple twist. Don't feel you've got to keep your knees stuck together. One knee can lift. And when you're ready, bringing that movement to the other side, please. Making sure your thighs are out at right angles as well, trying to, yeah. Can you soothe yourself with the movement? Very gentle, delicate movements. So it is 8:30, but I'd really like to stay with you for 5 minutes relaxation. But in case you need to rush to work or something, you might like to briefly roll onto your back before you leave. But we will all meet on our backs now, making sure you're warm enough. It's always good to rest the system, especially after stronger poses like we've been doing. It's really good to see you, Karen. I thought you weren't going to be able to make this. Don't worry. Come into Shavasana. And as you come to lying down, allowing the whole body to surrender to the earth, to let go, to drop. Notice the quality of your breath. And if you had an intention for your practice, you might like to invite it back in, to feel it in the body. And then set yourself free, set your attention free to wander. And of course, stay as long as you like in your relaxation. If you're ready to move into your day, beginning to take a few slightly deeper breaths, introducing some gentle movements into the body. Maybe resting on one side for a while. Whatever feels right for you. To come slowly, lovingly, gently out of your practice. And we can meet sitting with our eyes closed, hands together in front of the heart space. Simply to observe the end of the practice. Anything that you have noticed during this practice in particular for you. Any judgment, any delight, any difficulty, any enjoyment, any stillness. Taking a breath into this heart space, and as you breathe out, gently lowering your head, chin to your chest. And using the next breath in to lift your head gently and open your eyes into the day. Namaste.